Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me today while I make these adorable and delicious jack-o'-lantern and pumpkin shaped cherry hand pies, perfect for the Halloween season. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. I'm Tracy Martirana. I make videos with healthy recipes, herbal remedies, simple living topics, and a little bit of yoga and meditation. If any of that sounds good to you, please subscribe to my channel so you never miss a future video. I am starting by making a butter crust that I'm whipping up in my food processor. I added in 2¼ cups of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of salt, and to that I'm adding 2 sticks of butter which I cubed and had nicely chilled. I'm processing that until the butter is incorporated into the flour to create a coarse sand texture. Then I'm adding in ice cold water, 1 tablespoon at a time, until the dough begins to pull together. The recipe called for 8 to 10 tablespoons, but I only needed 5. Once the dough comes together, I'm just taking it out and then separating it into 2 discs, wrapping them in plastic and popping them into the refrigerator to chill for about an hour. If you were making a full-sized pie, one of these discs would be your bottom crust and the second would be your top. You could indeed make a full-sized pie and simply cut out the jack-o'-lantern face from the top crust and it would be super cute. I let the dough chill, but if I'm going to be able to roll it out, I have to let it warm back up just a little bit. So while that's happening, I'm making the cherry filling. Remember, you can fill these hand pies with any sort of fruit pie filling, or go savory with something like carameled onions and mustard, or black beans and cheddar cheese, or mashed butternut squash flavored with some curry powder. You could use leftover taco meat and shredded pepper jack cheese, or even go breakfast themed by stuffing them with scrambled eggs and chopped sausage. The possibilities are truly endless. To make the cherry filling, I'm using about 1½ cups of sour cherries that I had in my freezer. I thawed them and strained them, and then I diced them up into small pieces and flavored them with a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, about 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom, and then I added 2 good teaspoons of cornstarch to help thicken any residual juice. And then comes the fun part of rolling and cutting out the crust. I'm using a pumpkin cookie cutter, but you could simply use like a pint glass to make round hand pies, because as soon as you cut out the jack-o'-lantern face, it's pretty clear what it is. Or if you're seeing this video and it's not Halloween, do plain circles. Just remember to cut a little vent hole of some type, or use a different cookie cutter shape. Just remember, whatever shape you are using, you need 2 cut out pieces per hand pie, 1 for the top and 1 for the bottom. And you can re-roll your dough as many times as needed to get as many pieces as possible. I made a combination of jack-o'-lanterns and plain pumpkins. For the pumpkins, I just cut slits to sort of match that normal shape and look of a pumpkin. This is your chance to get super creative. And now on to assembly. I place the uncarved cutout pieces on the parchment-lined baking sheet, and then I used a little baking brush and some water to dampen the edges of each piece. This just helps the layers seal together so we don't end up with filling seeping out. Then I'm placing a good amount of filling, being sure not to add too much so that there's still plenty of surface for the top and bottom to connect and seal. And as that filling sat, more juice was released from the cherries, so I'm actually squeezing some of that out so I don't have too much liquid inside the hand pie. If you are enjoying this video, please don't forget to click the like button so YouTube knows that people are interested in content like mine. And then I'm just placing the cut out piece on top, sort of pushing it around on the edges, sealing it down. And then I'm going to go back around and use a fork to really crimp the edges to really seal it well. And I can already tell these are going to be super cute. This sized hand pie in my oven took just over 30 minutes to bake at 350 degrees, but baking times always vary a little, so pay attention. You just want the pie to be nice golden brown. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day.